It's the Logan Power Show. Inspirational and motivational. It's the Logan Power Show. Informational to help you grow. Logan Power Show. And now the host, Calvin Logan.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, and I thank you watching for a special episode here at the Logan Power Show where we're going to dive in to life stories of how people's lives have truly changed and how they elevated. They didn't just stay in a box. But the guest we have here, he's not only a life coach, he is an author. He got his own podcast, he had his own show, and he is rocking it up. His levels of people, content that he's coming, it is mind-boggling how he's getting people to come in and join in the conversation. And he's going to spark a conversation with you today of what you need to make you a better you. Ladies and gentlemen, for his returning guest back at the Logan Power Show, the one and only Mr. Kevin Thornton. What's going on, sir?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I could not complain. God is good.
Yes, sir. So tell people, well, let me know. You came with the book to address some of the ailments that really people go through, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to their mental. And you really
Mm-hmm.
hit home with the males. That's one of
Mm-hmm.
been some of your biggest concerns is like, hey, the fellas have been left out of the picture, and we've been left in sort of a certain stereotype of like this is how a male should be doing in life. You know, definitely have the foundational skills, but you addressing that not only is the foundation important, but also the spirit and the soul and mind have got to be on this one accord. Can you explain to me why you have such a passion for making sure that the males get it just as much as the females get it?
Absolutely. I became passionate about it because maybe like 15 years ago, I was coached by Iyanla Van Zant. She was on the radio one time and she said that she felt led to coach the first 100 black men who reached out to her. So I was one of the 100 and it was amazing. But that's when God revealed to me why um, it's needed because I have 100 men on the calls doing the work, but you see them breaking down, you see them crying because of all the stuff they have been going through, from childhood trauma to adult trauma, and we realize that there's no space for them at all. You know, you see a lot of stuff goes on TV that are dedicated to women, and the women deservedly they need their space, but I think the men definitely gets left out. So once I got on my journey to become a life coach, that has been my plan. And in the beginning, you know, I feel like the devil will tell you something that you don't want to hear, so you won't do what you're assigned to do. So they'll tell me, don't do the men, you won't make no money, you know, because women, in order to get to the men, you gotta get to the women, all that kind of nonsense. And now you're starting to see where now it's becoming very adamant that the men now are trying to do better by their mental health and their self care. And it's very important at this present moment, Calvin, because black men has the highest rate of suicide, and young black boys does too. Yes.
Wow. Um, a lot of times you hear about suicide, you hear about um mental health. You see it in different in forms. You think, well, suicide out, you never think that it's happening people that look like you, but you're not always familiar with the numbers. Um, that is definitely alarming. Uh, and so when you think about you see a lot of things when you think about medication and a kid being medicated, and you know, the affordability of counseling. I think that is
Mhm.
one thing that we're not really putting into. That is a need for a insurance to cover. It's like
Right.
it's out of pocket cost.
Mhm.
Can you tell people, I guess, what is the significance of a life coach? When you say like a life coach, like what is a life coach? Like why do I need a life coach if I'm still walking this life out? Like, hey, I can do stuff on my own. Like, what a
The,
significance do you believe a
the,
life coach?
the question. A life coach is like a therapist, but we don't diagnose and we don't prescribe medicine. So I'm gonna give you an unbiased look of your walk, your current journey, and what's going on. Because a lot of times when you end the journey, you can't see. You have blinders on of what's going on and what's true and what's not true to you. So we come with an unbiased look of your journey and give you the tools that you may need to uh, elevate to where you want to, where you want to go, whether that's in your profession, that's in your personal life, that's in relationships, or just whatever you want to do. Um, Life coaching has changed because we don't want to get because coaching and therapy can all can be very expensive. So now we've created like different community groups, like on social media, where you can pay like $20 a month and you'll get the same tools that you would get from coaching services that you'll pay maybe $3,000 a month, $3,000, for the 9 weeks. So we're doing things that's trying to make it more cost efficient, but still get the tools that you need to help you in your journey. And I think that's the major benefit. So yeah, so for me, I have a community group called um your Become Your Greatest Self Mastermind. And you just come in, I give you assignments to do. We do I put in my morning mantras. I go live once a week or once a month just to talk to them. And then those who need like a one-on-one, I give you a one-on-one as well. So it helps you get past it. And for men, I'll say this, most of the men who come to me, a lot of them have had trauma of maybe not having a father figure in their life. And they in this journey of trying to become a man. And I'm an adamant of what you see is what you be. So if you grew up with your mom and there's no male energy around the household, how you know what to do to become a man if there's nobody showing you? Unless you go out to the streets, which a lot of them do, and go out to the streets to the gangs and all that kind of stuff and learn from them. But so a lot of times they come looking for me to help them in that journey and become a man and become a better person and knowing how to lead. Because a lot of times, if you don't have the male figure, you don't know how to lead as well. So, yeah,
Sir, and for those that are watching right now, mental health is it's a crisis.
it is.
It's a crisis that you see it on many occasions that people are going through some of the most tumultuous times. It is something to where it
Mhm.
can be overwhelming that you can say, well,
Very.
why am I dealing with this on a daily basis? And listen, I'm not trying to judge you and say like, hey, um, you got a problem, how can you have a problem? Like, listen, everyone has their own trauma, everyone has their
Mhm.
own journey, and everyone's journey is different. So, what I'm trying to do is, I got a guy here, he's going to definitely give you some tools, some tidbits that's going to help you become a better you.
Yeah.
Now, spinning off to you now got this podcast that's been going on for some time that has built so much steam and momentum that
Hmm.
people are really gravitating and say, okay, he got an ear for the people. What
Hmm.
led you to do into the podcast and say, I'm gonna be a life coach, but also being a life coach, I can then talk to the people and interview folks and bring people with different walks of life and now make an impact. What made you add on to your daily duties?
Good question. it's not something I really wanted to do. It was something that was brought to me. So initially, um, a young lady had a podcast, and she was a follower of me, and she reached out to me and asked me to be on her show. And yeah, I was on her show, and we did an amazing job. And then the owner of the studio said, "I want you to have your own podcast." And I'm like, I don't know, because that's not what I really wanted to do. So I said, let me pray on it and I'll get back with you. And he said, just think about it. It'll be your show in between these three ladies' shows, and it'll be considered Motivational Monday. So I thought about it, and I always know that when the blessings coming is when you are your most uncomfortable. So this made me uncomfortable. So I know the blessings on the other side of it. And so I went ahead and did it. And for me, I wanted to showcase us as a community in a way that mainstream media does not showcase us. There are a lot of great black men out here doing great things like yourself who don't get the notoriety or the shine that they deserve because, this is not the image they want to show the world of who we are as black men. And so it's up to us to use our platforms to showcase black men and black women doing profound things so the world could know that we are more than what the mainstream media showcases.
Absolutely. And for those that are looking at us now, um, I know this is the color that I've been given. God made me this color, and it can be, whew, it can be.
Mhm.
You gotta have some tough skin. And I'm not trying to put the stigma out there, but there is racial barriers. There are this you can't deny it. The United
Right.
States has a lot of problems. I know we are talking about 250 years since 1776 is it's his independence, but the reality is that even with 250 years, you still have a racial divide that's still going on. It's in certain forms,
Hmm.
and you have to pick up to where some of these actual equations and formulas are sort of hidden and they come out and you see it more and more again. Um, and for me, it's not a spirit of competition. I just encourage. Like if you ever watch Kevin Thornton's podcast, I promise you, you're going to be encouraged. You're going to be inspired. It's going to be someone you want to bring into your room. So I definitely reach out to my brother, and
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person I always move it forward. Now, question: when
Mhm.
you see more of, not only did you say, okay, I'm gonna do the life coach, I'm gonna do my podcast. Now I'm gonna get a book. I'm gonna put it down on pen and pad and paper. And
Hmm.
you have now put a real wrench into the engine where it's about to explode because now you are addressing some trauma that only the men are facing, young boys are facing, and it's an epidemic, really a
Right.
pandemic going on when it
Right.
comes to um people of color, especially black males, black boys. There is a problem. From your book, what are some of the things you want people to sort of gravitate to, or sort of like saying, take that information and then pivot to make it change?
Okay. Before I answer that question, I first want to say thank you to you. Every time something like this come up, you reach out to me and be like, "Hey, I'm proud of what you're doing. Can you come and do my show?" And the last time I drove to South Carolina and did your show, and here you are again. So I want to say, first of all, say thank you for all the support that you have given me. That's first of all. Um, in this book, I have been, I'll go home to visit. And I'll have my friends say, "When's the next book? When's the next book?" I said, "It's coming." And I wanted to sit down and be still and figure out what I was being led to talk about. And with the epidemic going on with the black men, and I really wanted to speak to us. And initially, it was catered to us. It is catered to black men, but the language of it is universal that even a woman can read it and still get a lot out of it as well. What I want the black men and I want people in general to understand is I need you to come home. Come home to yourself first. We all have a lot of us have a lack of self-love. And we are created in the image of likeness of God, and God is love. So then we are love. But what I need you to do is to love yourself first and understand that how God created each and every one of us was by his design, and we are worthy of everything that he has given us or is in store to give us. It's just for us to believe that we are worthy of it and then walk in his greatness and walk in his journey to to receive all the blessings that he's going to give us. So that's the first thing that I want everybody to be able to understand and do. And once you understand that you are loved by yourself first, you don't tend to worry about what everybody else think about you because you know who you are and whose you are. So then all the outside noise doesn't make a difference. So then therefore you become unapologetically you. So Calvin is unapologetically Calvin. He's gonna be Calvin every day, all day, whether you like him or not. And that's the energy that I want everybody to be able to step in their true selves, love themselves for who they are, and be that unapologetically.
Yes, sir. Now it's a question I'm gonna ask. I know a lot of times people are listening, they talk about love, come back home and love yourself. Was a biblical term is that love thy neighbors and love yourself. The
Hmm.
question, well, the first question I have is, how can I love myself
Hmm.
when I've been given so many challenges and traumas or past hurt, past pain? I'm speaking from people talk about
Hmm.
past hurt, past pain. How can I actually love myself when you see people say, like, I've been told that I'm not worthy of being loved? Yet God is love. And John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So you're trying to reach the lost. So when we're
Hmm.
talking to a lost soul, and we're talking to a male right now, and society will say, well, man, you failed. Failure could be where I didn't achieve the goal that I was going to achieve as a man, or I didn't
Hmm.
get the job, or I didn't get the family, I didn't get certain things, or I never hit the mark. I always like, oh, so close. It's always a
Hmm.
setback, or like um I never had that home that I always wanted to have growing up as a kid, and it's hard for me to express like I want better, but it's hard for me to express what better looks like because I
Hmm.
can't tell you what it looks like. I can say,
Right.
well, I've seen it from a certain perspective, but I can't say I lived that dream. You see it on television. They say like, okay, this is what the good life is, or so how is I guess for me, how is a person going to love themselves and also spring that forth and come back to their home when it
Hmm.
seems like a lot of times people when they always call them a sellout. Well, why you don't come back home no more? Well, I come back
Right.
home because I got bad memories. All right.
Right.
I don't come back home because you talk bad to me when I get successful, or like I ain't coming back here because you know that person has done so wrong. Like, what am I coming back home for? Can you explain
Hmm.
to people like what that example could look like in your perspective?
So, from what all you have said, that would be a process. No, the first process is just for you to break down the traumas. Because one of the things you said that people will tell you that you're not worthy of this. No, you don't deserve this. So we would have to break down that trauma and let them understand that, that's a narrative that you can no longer hold because what you are doing is you give that person power of how you see yourself. And how you see yourself should come from you first. And once you do that, what they think is irrelevant. And, but we gotta be able to get you give you permission, first of all, to release all the negative thoughts that people are saying about you or saying to you, but also the negative thoughts about you that you have about yourself. And then once we have those conversations, it's going to be some detailed and some intense conversations. Because I'm not gonna automatically expect you to say I love myself. I'm gonna have to be able to deal with the traumas at hand, and let's deal with it. And I'm always gonna come from a place of love. And a lot of times for the men, men have never been told um, that they are good enough. They had never been told that I'm proud of you. So a lot of times in my journey for this assignment, I had to learn how to, give love to the men so they can receive it and create a safe space that, when they're with me, they feel safe enough to let down all the walls, and let's be very authentic about what's holding you back, what's hurting you. So then therefore we could heal those issues. And then from there, then I'll be able to then lift you up with my speaking and let you know, Calvin, you are enough as you are. You are created in God's image and likeness, and you are the epitome of greatness. But I need you to receive that. Can you receive that? If you tell me no, you're not ready yet, I'm gonna keep on pouring into you until you are able to receive it. And I'll ask you, what's holding you back from receiving that? And a lot of times it's not that they don't believe, it's just hard for them to receive it because no one's never told them that before. And it's hard for you to believe stuff, especially if it's positive stuff, if nobody never told you anything positive about you before ever in life. And so all you know is that everything negative they say about me has become true. Well, if nobody never poured anything positive into you, you don't know if that could be true too. That could be true too, but you gotta give it permission to be true. And so it's for me just to constantly just pour into them, to reaffirm them and acknowledge them that, hey, you are enough. I see you, I hear you. But what we're not going to do is keep on allowing you to beat yourself up or allow you to give them permission to tear you down. Because if you keep on hearing that stuff, then it's like you're giving them permission. Now, when you're a kid, you had no control, but as an adult, you have control to set boundaries of what you're going to accept, coming into your spirit and what's not going to be accepted in your spirit. And from there, you move forward from that.
Sir, that's very powerful. And for those that we're talking right now, a lot of things she's mentioned in very biblical terms. Proverbs 18:21, death and life's in the power of the tongue, and they
Hmm.
love the fruit thereof. The Bible talks about you have a spirit, soul, and body, three
Hmm.
parts. The spirit is perfect. Spirit is boom. That is you. But the soul, that's the mind, that's what you have. And then your flesh is just straight sin and it wants to do what it wants to do.
Yeah.
Um, from your perspective, since you come from a spiritual side
Hmm.
of trying to heal and deliver, have you ever heard a person say, you know what? I don't got time to sit down and have this conversation because I got bills to pay. I got things to do. I got a chip on my shoulder. So I'm going to keep that in the closet. I can't afford to sit down with you because time is money and money is time. What's the benefits? Like, I get it. I hear you. That's why some people say, I'm going to see if I can, gather with a friend or gather with the same. What are some of the how are you able to break some of those walls that you see a lot of people sort of build up and said like the wall of China and ain't trying to break down nothing?
Okay.
How you break those down?
So I'll give you an example. I had a young man. He's about 38 now. When I met him, um, about 4 years ago, he had never completed nothing, Calvin. I'm not saying nothing. He'll have an idea of doing something and he would never finish it. He had a job and he'll work that job, but he was not happy with it himself. And so um, I told him it's a journey, and I need you to understand that it's a journey. And my question to you is, you're not you're paying me, but this going to benefit you. And I got to ask you, are you worthy enough to make the commitment to yourself? Forget about me. Are you enough to put no, to put the commitment within yourself? And he would say, yes, because I've been trying to do it myself and it's not been working. I said, so trust me enough to give you the tools that you need so we can move forward. So as we start to move forward, you start to see him grow as a man. He became more confident in who he is and who he was. And I'll say this last December, he graduated with his bachelor's degree. He had never completed anything ever in life, ever. And so when he got that bachelor's degree, he called me with tears in his eyes saying, I completed something. And I said, yes, you did. And now you got something to show your sons that what's possible and who your father is, because now you're a college graduate, but also you got two certifications in IT. So now you better get ready to find you a great job in computers that you could be able to live the lifestyle that you want to live and be able to treat the kids that you want to live. So that would be like a great example of if you just relinquish control and let God do his job. So guys, let's say someone's watching your show right now and they're on a journey and they say, well, you know what? I've been doing it all wrong this way. Maybe I'm gonna reach out to Kevin. That's not him doing that. That's God puts it there on his spirit. Say, let's do it this way. So then when you come to me, we're gonna have that conversation. Are you ready to release all control? And if you're ready to release all control, then you're going to reap the benefits on the other end. And like that man did, he reaped the benefits on the other end. So now he's living the life that he always wanted.
Yes, sir. And for those again who are watching that young man. Again, shout out to him accomplishing his goal. You know, it's not how you start in life, it's how you finish. So
Yes,
shout out
sir.
to what he's doing. When it comes to your podcast,
Mhm.
your actual TV show, what a kind of guests or like what are you trying to accomplish? What's the goal when you're trying to look for someone to say, I'm gonna interview this person? What do you want the audience to get when they watch you?
Um, Usually people speak to me. So like, I'm coming for you. Trust and believe. I'm coming for you. Uh, but a lot of them speak to me about what they're doing in their lives. So like you to be doing what you're doing on a network, you're showing ownership in a way and how you are a steward leader by Christ, you know what I'm saying? And you're unapologetic about that. And we need those type of images. And I was those something like you, something I would like to showcase. Um, I've showcased a guy that I went to high school and college with who is the superintendent of a school district. You don't a lot of times don't see a lot of black men who's running a school district and is doing it very well at the same time. So I wanted to showcase that because I want to showcase us doing a lot of different things and we're doing it exceptionally well. And what it all boils down to when we get to the nooks and the cranny of it, who are being successful are allowing themselves to be guided by God. and and allow God and themselves to be the co-creators of their lives. And that's the mission.
You heard it first live at the Logan Power Show. Mr. Kevin Thornton. Again, I definitely would recommend if you want to get on his podcast, the information is available on the screen. Get in contact with him, reach out to the social media. I promise you, this is a guy you want to bring in. He's humble, he's straightforward. He's the kind of person that's going to elevate you because you need to be elevated. I'll be honest with you. We're in the time to where you can't just be saying, do this without no passion, no energy. What
Exactly.
you coming? You gotta have it. You gotta have some insight. You gotta
Yeah,
know what's behind that door number one, door number two, and door number three. If you don't have
absolutely.
that, that's where you want to bring them into the ball game. And you want to have a person who's very structured and has a lifestyle. You say, okay, he's structured and he has some things that you say, okay, well, man, I want to gravitate to those kind of things. So I definitely would recommend
Absolutely.
you
And
want
what
to be able to
I'm
get that.
like I said, one thing, what and we are in dire times right now. We have to understand that we're in dire times. Um, Everything that they've been doing since the new president has been in office, it has been to take away from us. And we have to understand that. But understand that what they're doing to try to take away from us does not stop us. And that we have to now be more structured and more obedient more than ever to be able to sit down and with God and figure out, okay, what do I do? Because I still got to be able to be of service and be, but still be able to take care of my family, all type of stuff like that. And stuff like that we're doing right now is more important. It's important because now if people can start to see that, hey, I have a voice, I have a journey, I could tell my journey and I could help somebody, but it also in helping somebody, I could get paid for doing so at the same time. That might lead everybody more to be of service, but also know that's a new way for them to create more income as well. So I challenge everybody to, in this dire times, to sit still and figure out what I'm supposed to do in these next 3 years that's left that's going to be able to elevate myself, but also elevate our culture at the same time.
You heard it first here live at the Logan Power Show. We have 3 years. 3 years to be able to build the foundation, lay the structure down so that you'll be able to catapult to your next. I promise you, by the time January of 2029 hits, you're going to be definitely want to make sure you've made the foundational shift now so that in 2029, you'll be further along. Let's follow the trend. Everyone who made a shift in 2020, they are way ahead of the game now. They saw
Absolutely.
the future. Everyone who made a shift in 2008 during the banking crisis, they catapulted moving forward. You think about it in the past, 2008 and 2020, in that 12-year span, if you had made some shifts from there to now, you think about it, and from 2008 to now, it's been 18 years since we've had some tumultuous times. If we
Hmm.
go by 2001, since 9/11, 25 years ago, we're going into some times to where if you don't make a shift, if you don't pivot, you don't trust God, you
Hmm.
will not get through. So I encourage everyone right now, let's make a pivot, let's make a shift, let's partner together. I'm partnering with my brother here. So I want you all who are partnering, let's work it. Let's trust God. And I promise you, your life will never be the same. That's all the time I got. My name is Calvin of the Logan Power Show, nationwide, worldwide. We love you. We'll see you soon.
It's the Logan Power Show. Inspirational and motivational. It's the Logan Power Show. Informational to help you grow. Logan Power Show.